You know, it's a little frustrating. I think it's me constantly being told what a strong woman is or a strong mother is by someone that doesn't have children or someone who isn't even a woman.
Excuse me as I kiss the sky.
Hey, this is Bishop Anthony Glover of the Shepherd Circle, Nashville, Tennessee. Listen, I want to talk to you about something very important. There's a number of inappropriate videos being published on YouTube about Soncerae with malicious intent. First of all, these videos violate YouTube's community guidelines. I'm asking you that you report any content that promotes or condones violence against her because of her race, gender, age, economic status, sexual orientation, or even her relationship status, as well as anything that incites hatred or harassment. If you see any misleading descriptions, tags, titles, thumbnails that use her name, image, footage, or voice in order to increase their views, I'm asking you to please report that. Predatory behavior, stalking, threats, harassment, intimidation, invasion of privacy, revealing someone's personal information and inciting people to commit acts of violence against people all break YouTube's community guidelines. So please report this information and help stop cyberbullying.
And me and the real people in my life, we discuss my comment section all of the time because there's so much ignorance in it. Listen, it's so much ignorance in it, it's just hard to understand. There is nothing wrong with people's opinions, okay? But the way that people express themselves is so ignorant. A black person had the nerve to complain about how black people put up videos expressing their opinion. Meanwhile, the same black person is expressing their opinion in my comment section. I hear the whole narrative, black women this, black women that, single mother this, blah, 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 marriage this, marriage that. People dangle me being single in my face as if being single is like the worst thing that a person could do. Like being single is some type of disease you just catch. And don't even get me started on the people complaining about how I continue to talk about child support and the experience that I had with my son's father. I want a lot of people to understand something, that the black community has normalized a lot of bad behavior inside of our race. Abandonment, abuse, sexual assault, domestic violence, all types of stuff that our community just excuses. And when one person brings it up, it's like, why is this person being a victim? Stop victimizing yourself. Meanwhile, I'm a person who is an inspirational speaker, an advocate for domestic violence, and a number of things I would like to spread awareness about, and people chastise me. Oh, why are you telling your business? Black women always tell their business. Listen, it stopped being about me spreading my business when I realized there were so many women who were abandoned by men. And I don't just mean, oh, this guy just didn't want to deal with her anymore. He literally left her to take care of children alone. And society makes men think that that's just completely okay. Then when a woman puts a man on child support, she's no longer classified as the strong woman. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. Listen, how a woman responds to a dysfunctional man's destructive behavior that is affecting her determines whether she's a strong woman or not. But not now, not back in the past, and not in the future will it ever be weak for a single mother to put a man on child support. I'm the type of person that I'm not too comfortable with child support. But then again, I'm not too comfortable with anything that has to do with the judicial system, okay? Some stuff just doesn't seem fair to me. But as far as child support goes, inside of my family, the women have just allowed men to just abandon their children without them taking any type of accountability and responsibility for what they have left behind. Now, had I been a promiscuous woman just going around here sleeping with whoever and didn't know who the father of my child was, then there was a possibility I could say, you know what, forget this child support mess. But I was in a full-blown relationship, engaged to someone who planned having children with me. And then when the child came sooner, he decided that he wanted to jump ship and get back with his ex. So to me, that is a man trying to run away from his responsibilities, which is something that I will not allow a man to do in regards to how it's affecting my life or my children's life. So a strong woman, a strong mother, cares about the welfare of her children, and she wants the best for her children. There are a lot of men out there who say, Soncerae, don't keep your son away from his father, and I agree. I feel like my son needs his father. Now, me putting my son's father on child support has nothing to do with me and how I feel. A lot of people think, oh, it's an emotional thing. You're putting him on child support because, you know, you're in this emotional state. Well, no, what I'm doing is a logical thing. I'm doing something that's going to organize our situation. What's bringing more confusion into my situation with me, my son, and his father is us communicating with each other, trying to figure out a way to handle this when the past has already shown that he and I dealing with each other is not going to produce any type of solution. So reaching out to the court saying, hey, could you organize this situation, is the only thing that's going to work between he and I. Now, there are a lot of people out there who have relationships with people where they can have some type of cordial communication and everybody's respectful of everyone's position. But being as though what me and my son's father went through was so bad and so terrible, we will never be in a place to where he and I could sit down and have cordial communication, because number one, for me, it's very difficult for me to even trust him around our son. Forget my feelings towards him. The man abandoned me and our son in a hotel while I was sick and barely could take care of myself. So what's going to happen if my son gets sick? Or what's going to happen when my son's father just decides that he's tired of having a baby? Is he just going to abandon him on the side of the street? Because he just abandoned us and disappeared. I mean, for a long time. So I'm going to do whatever I can to try to get my son financially taken care of, if that's the best that his father can provide. Someone left into my comment section. Their name was Anti-Crap. Let me read to you what they wrote. They said, if you really love that kid, let him go. You clearly are hypnotized by the YouTube attention and you desire to punish him. He's going to be a bad child support provider and end up in jail. Then his son will say, my daddy was in jail, and the cycle will repeat itself. Let the guy go. As if putting a man on child support is a woman not letting go of a man. I think letting go of a man who treated me like shit and didn't really love me and publicly said that, letting a man like that go is pretty easy. Like when a man is like a full-blown piece of shit, holding on to him probably isn't hard for a lot of women. And trust me, I don't get as much attention on YouTube as I feel like I deserve, so please spare me with the, oh, she's just doing this for attention. This is not some dog and pony show. This is me discussing my experience like an adult, speaking to other mature adults so they can understand the consequences of some decisions that you make in regards to who you're dealing with romantically. Whether my son's father ends up in jail is not my problem. He should have thought about that when he was selling, the dream that men sell women they don't really care about, but they pretend. Like a lot of people like to blame women. They say, hey, you chose the bum. What you expect? He's a deadbeat dad. You chose him. No. Bums aren't walking around with a sign on their forehead that says bum. They're literally lying and pretending and wearing a facade. So you're thinking they're like this good person, and then suddenly they decide they want to be who they truly are after they feel like you stuck in and you're never gonna leave. This man was sadly mistaken. I left, meaning I moved from one side of the country to another. So trust me, holding on to him is not what I'm doing, and filing for child support is not a tool for a woman to hold on to a man. If anything, that's gonna make a man run even further. My son's father was a bad boyfriend, okay? But was I expecting him to be a bad father? Not so much. Okay, so now we've established that he's a bad father. Is he going to be a bad child support provider? We'll see. Listen, part of being a good, strong person is you still having a positive attitude and optimistic thought process in this situation. Like for me, I'm still thinking positive. I'm still thinking, hey, my son's father is going to do his best. And maybe his best is just him providing a source of payment. I know for me, that's not what I wanted, but I didn't want the situation to get to a point where I was raising a child alone and would have to file for child support to begin with. During my pregnancy, I was like trying to fix this situation and he refused to fix it. Now, after I responded to this comment, this person decided to comment back because my response was, it's not my responsibility to care what my son's father is doing. If he ends up in jail, that's his own fault. He needs to take responsibility. This person says, I know it's not your problem, but your son will be affected. He's going to pay and your son will pay and you will end up paying. Just say fuck him and take care of your son. I guarantee you, if you tell your subscribers that you decided to let it go and will raise your kid yourself, the support and donations will flow because people love a strong, independent woman and will encourage you more and more. If you show them a situation of revenge, you will get one side that will fuel it to see what's going to happen next, like Jerry Springer, without giving a penny, so-called supporters. And the other side that will hate you even more. If you do this, someone like Tommy will praise it and you will get sympathy from more people. Think smart, let it go. He's a loser. You strong. So I had to explain to him, my son will be affected regardless to what I decide. My son is going to pay regardless. So stop trying to convince me to not get financial assistance for my son to live a better life. That's just dumb, okay? Now here's the funny thing about donations and support. A lot of people refused to give me donations because they felt like my son was priest's responsibility, so they didn't give me donations. What makes me a strong, independent woman is me doing what's best for my son, whether I file for child support or not, okay? This whole a woman filing for child support is strictly a revenge thing. Is just stupid, okay? I don't need to do anything to get revenge. Let me tell you what would be real revenge. Real revenge would be me completely walking away and not letting Priest see his son ever again. That would be revenge. Because one thing I know about human beings is that they regret a lot before their time of death. And as you get older and you mature more, you start looking back at your life and start regretting things. There are a lot of men out there who didn't take care of their children and they feel some type of remorse for that as they get older. So being as though I know that Priest wanted children, the idea of him not seeing his son at all would be more hurtful than me putting him on child support. And because I know that, I'm just not going to do that vengeful tact. Now there are some women out there who will file for child support just to be vengeful. I don't want that. I don't care about that. I don't have a vengeful spirit. Listen, there is nothing that I can do that will match the amount of pain my son's father bestowed on me, okay? There is nothing I can do. What happened to me was so bad. Like, it was so bad that nothing I could do to him physically or financially, mentally, or anything like that could match the pain that this man has put me through. And to put in a woman's ear that her filing for child support is some sort of revenge is some bullshit that some men coming up with somewhere because they don't want to take care of their responsibilities financially. See, one thing about putting a man on child support is that if he's unemployed, he's going to get employed. If he wanted to be slick about not taking care of his son or daughter financially, he can X that out the window, because child support is definitely going to organize that. It'll put me and my son's father in a position to where he and I don't have to communicate at all, honestly, because really that's what I'm aiming for. I don't want to talk to him. And I had to explain to this person, like, it doesn't bring me delight to have to put a man on child support, but it also doesn't bring me delight to interact with Priest at all. So I got to choose the lesser of two evils. And the lesser of two evils is just filing for child support and making him take responsibility in that way. He told everybody our son wasn't his. Now, you know, it's a whole different thing because the DNA test results came back positive. So I'm not sitting here doing a damn Tootsie Roll simply because I know I'm going to get a child support check. That's not no kind of revenge. Like, I don't know why any woman would think that would be some type of revenge to get back at a man. No. I'm tired of people saying that to women, and I'm tired of people trying to make it seem like because a woman files for child support that makes her weak. What makes me strong is the fact that I'm actually doing it. I'm fighting for my son. Weak women give up on their children. Weak women give up on providing for them children or holding other men accountable for what they've done. That's why so many men thinking they can get away with this type of foolishness. And so for me, I'm just going to fight for what's best for me. I'm not going to fight for what's best for other people's opinions and thought processes. I'm not going to sit here and just do what everybody who's watching this video wants me to do so I can get the adoration of some other content creators or some other people. I'm doing what's best for my son. That's what makes me a strong, independent woman. Me thinking independently, not doing something just to get praise out of some other people. So when people try to accuse me of being attention starved and revengeful and all of this negative stuff, honey, that's your perspective of reality. I have a very positive perspective over here. And what I'm trying to do for my son is create an atmosphere where it's healthy. No one's arguing, no one's fussing. He gets to see his son when he wants to. There's money flowing, everything is fine, no one's arguing, and that is what I want to do, and child support will help with that. Now, if we take the child support away, I'm going to be calling him like, when you come to pick up your son, can you send me some money for such and such, blah 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 blah. It eliminates he and I having to interact all together. So that is a positive in my situation. Now, I don't know what it's doing for other women, but I'm pretty sure women who are going through the same thing I'm going through, to where even communicating with a man like him, it's detrimental, and all that comes out of it is arguments, because you got somebody here who doesn't communicate well, they're disrespectful, they might be verbally abusive. And that's my son's father. He's very verbally abusive. He doesn't know how to communicate. He's very immature. His mind is underdeveloped. And these are all things I learned after we had a life experience. Had he shown me this was the type of man he was before I ended up getting pregnant, do you know, I would have definitely just ran for the border. But you know, life experience shows you people. You know, you go through things with people, and how they respond to those things shows you whether you want to continue to have this person in your life or not. And so that's what ended up happening with me and my son's father. So no, I'm not putting the man on child support as a form of revenge. No, women are not weak when they put men on child support. These men need to take accountability and responsibility for their children. So women who do actually follow through with this process, you are a very strong woman. Do not let anybody make you think that you taking care of your children alone, when your child was created by you and another human being, and that person has stable income or a job or whatever. Don't let people make you think that if you don't reach out to them, that's what makes you strong and independent. No, you're still a strong, independent woman making this decision for your children. Lastly, if you don't got no kids, have a seat. If you are not female, have a seat. If you a man, you are in no position to tell a woman what a strong woman is. Only another woman could teach a woman that. Okay? And if you don't have any children, you are in no position to tell a woman what a strong mother is, because you have no idea what it's like. See, you watched your mother raise you, but until you raise children on your own, you will never be able to understand. You will never be able to understand the sacrifices you have to make in order for your children to survive and be comfortable.